So welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. I'm Andrew Weaver, CEO of LawyerFair, and there is much I could include as an introduction to the career, experience and all-round good guy qualities of today's guest. But instead, I'm going to take you to a time and a place, which is Manchester, just before the 2008 credit crunch, which is when I first met Michael Taylor in his then role as editor of Insider magazine. But more importantly, for the purposes of today's podcast, is the setting for his first and already widely acclaimed novel, 40 by 40. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Andrew.
Tell me, who the hell is Roger Cashmore?
Yeah, Roger is a fictional character that's at the centre of my novel, 40 by 40. People ask me all the time, is he real? And my answer to that is, he may not be real, but everything he says and everything he represents is true. He's effectively an amalgam of a certain type of Cheshire businessman, very much with the emphasis on the man, who was in his real pomp in that run-up to the financial crash, not just a credit crunch, but a financial crash of 2008, that the actual destruction of the credit markets really wiped out that kind of easy money property development industry, and also businesses that would get lending on really flaky propositions. And Roger kind of represents all of those, and that's the basis on which I wrote the book.
Well, Michael, you were immersed in this world, weren't you? I mean, you were right at the centre of this. I was rather rubbing my nose up against the outside of San Carlo's restaurant window, but you were right in the middle of all this. And Roger began within the magazine, didn't he?
Yeah, I used to write a column for Insider. It was all the stories and anecdotes and tales and lunch anecdotes that people would tell me, their own stories, and also gossip about other people.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really an outlet for it. It wasn't news. It was, as I said, it was gossip and apocryphal stories. But I wanted to find an outlet for it, so I created this character that essentially told the truth about what was going on in this particular slither of Northwest business life. And just in the way that Bridget Jones was an accurate reflection of the life of a 20-something woman working in the media in London in the 90s, as Helen Fielding created. I wanted Roger to do the same with the character in Insider. Obviously, the name's changed. It was Roger Cashman, and I thought Cashmore just a little bit more assertive, a little bit more. There's some good reasons for changing the twist on it. I also wanted to make it a bit of a break from that character because it had become a bit of a social media phenomenon as well. And I killed off Roger Cashman. Yeah. He disappeared over the edge of his boat off the coast of Porto Banús in 2012, I think.
Was he pushed?
Well, who knows? No one will ever know.
Absolutely.
They seek him here, they seek him there.
Absolutely. I mean, when you went back to actually writing the book, Michael, I mean, did you reflect on it? Did you reflect on that period of time and what happened and whether anybody saw it coming, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of my favourite films is Goodfellas, and there's that brilliant scene, sort of at the end of Act 1, when Ray Liotta's, he's found his way into the mob. They were doing anything they wanted, and he just sums it up. He just goes, "We were wise guys. We were good fellas. We had it all." And it was kind of that moment, the big tables at San Carlo, the bottles of booze, the bling, the flash cars, the property. And it really did feel like these guys could conquer the world. But it was all built on sand. And the more you look into it, the more that was all there. And there is a scene in the book that is based on an actual real event that I've recorded. I took the notes, I've got the slide presentations, and it was a conference held at the Yang Sing restaurant in May of 2008, where John Moulton, he's from Better Capital now, veteran venture capitalist, and he gave, with both barrels, the facts of life. He predicted AIG would go. He predicted a major Wall Street bank would go to the wall. He predicted that the Icelandic and the Irish banks were built on sand. And he was right, and there was, you could have heard a pin drop in that room, and I've recounted that story because it was a warning, and it was flagging up what was going to happen, and the reactions of people that I've included in the book, albeit in a bawdy fictional setting, nevertheless was absolutely accurate. All the people who were there, and there are real people interspersed throughout the book, by the way, not doing things that they didn't really do. It's just colour, Just as Man United won the Champions League final in Moscow in May 2008, and City got taken over by an Arab petrobillionaire in September of that year. So also John Moulton spoke at a conference. So also Morton Gams Pedersen was having dinner with friends in San Carlo. This is just background and it's colour. And I don't think it makes it all come to life a little bit more and makes it feel real.
Well, that's partly why I did the intro actually, because it is a time and a place, isn't it? I mean, that has captured exactly what Manchester was like at the time, with all of the background noise as well. I mean, did you get at the time with the column, or perhaps with the book coming out? Have you ever had anybody coming up saying, "Was that me?" Or was there elements of me in Roger?
Yeah, loads of times.
Yeah. And so, what's happening next with him? Because I've got a funny feeling you've got a sequel in you on this, Michael.
Well, I'd like to, but it's a matter of time. I'm running my own business. I've got loads of other different interests. I've got boards that I sit on. I'm involved in politics as well, and I don't know where I'll find the time. To be honest, it took me 4 years to write 40 by 40. Dipping in and out. So, it's difficult to say yes, I'm going to write one and I'm going to be knocking it out next year. But I've got the nugget of an idea, given that I stood for Labour in the general election in this year, of actually Roger's next life is he's looking around for something to do, and he stands in an unwinnable seat in the 2010 general election for the Tories.
Lovely. Well, listen, I'm sure that'll be in the back of your mind. And Michael forgets as well to add that he's also the father to 5 very busy kids as well. So I don't know where you find the time, mate, frankly. So well done on getting this first novel out.
Not at all, Andrew. No, thanks for giving me the time to talk today.
It's kind of you to join us. But that was Michael Taylor. We're going to put links on the podcasts and all the social media feeds. In fact, Michael, I think, was the first person ever to show me 1,000 tweets. We had a lunch one day, and you were very proudly showing me 1,000 tweets. I didn't even know at the time what Twitter was. So I think you possibly introduced me to that. But we'll be putting a note of where to buy the book and all that kind of lovely stuff on our feed. But Michael, thanks again. Have a great day.
Thank you, Andrew.
That was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. We'll speak to you again tomorrow. Thanks for listening.